So Chelsea, I want to start with your own, personal story, and specifically, have there been any pivotal moments in your own money story that changed how you approach finances and how you help others do the same?
This question is always a fun one because typically, when you work with somebody who's a master at something, they tell you this story of like a super all time low and struggle where they learned how to do the thing that they've mastered. But if I'm being honest, money was always something that made sense to me and that I could manage even when I was broke and a 20-year-old single mom in college working two jobs. So that doesn't mean I always had a lot of it, but it's always worked out for me and I've been able to manage it wherever I'm at. And one of the things that contributed to that was my first money lesson, which I got from a city bus driver in high school.
I didn't expect that. Okay.
Me and my best friend were taking the city bus to the mall so we could go to Claire's and buy Jinko jeans. That dates me, and that's fine. But we were on the bus going back home, and the bus driver was like, "Girls, take out a piece of paper and a pen. I want to show you something." And he told us this is what minimum wage is. This is what you're going to take home after taxes. This is what rent, utilities, groceries are looking right now. Like he went through the whole rundown with us. And of course, back then we were like, what is this guy doing? We don't care about this. Like we live at home. So it wasn't one of my stories that became relevant until I grew up and realized there's a problem if my money lesson came from a city bus driver.
Yeah.
Schools aren't teaching it. Colleges aren't teaching it. I have a finance degree and it didn't cover the topic well enough. So it became a really big story for me.
That's interesting. How, so when we're talking about law firms or companies, you know, how does the personal side typically affect the business side of things? Because if in my mind, if the personal side's a wreck, then the business side's going to be a wreck. So can you talk about that a little bit?
You're exactly right in every way. We have this idea when we're in business for ourselves that there is separation between church and state. But when it comes to your money, there is no separation. The way you manage your personal finance shows up in every area of how you manage your business finance. I like to think of money as a mirror. Uh, when you really face your numbers, which a lot of people are terrified to do, by the way, there's a lot of avoidance around finance and getting a grip on numbers or working with people like me and having that level of vulnerability when you know you're not doing the best that you could be doing. But it is tied very much so to the person behind the numbers.
How do you get past that with people that come to you and they've got that sense of shame because of how they've managed things over time? And how do you get, I guess, what is your message to them to encourage them to reach out to someone like you, either you or someone like you to kind of help get things in order?
Well, first of all, know that you deserve grace for not knowing. It's okay not to know how to manage your money. It's also okay that you're doing phenomenal things with your life and have great achievements over here, but you still haven't figured out how to work with money. Again, nobody taught you. Chances are nobody taught you, including your parents, because they probably weren't taught. So you can only work with what you know, and you are not alone. We see it all the time. And the thing I love about money, like my company has a framework. It's a framework for the technical management of money. And when you start with a framework, what that framework does is it gives your money boundaries to honor. And it also sets us up for the opportunity of a lot of people push those boundaries with their spending, right? So when I say boundaries, think of a budget. Budgets are there to protect profit and your future financial freedom. When you deviate from your budget, you now have the opportunity to ask yourself why. Everybody that comes to us is not ready to have these hard conversations and ready to face their money mirror. So we are patient, and a lot of people end up coming around. And that's part of being willing to work with somebody. You have to honor where they're at and let that journey unfold naturally. So with a framework, with a technical framework, whenever we deviate from the plan, that's where the conversation has potential to open eyes to, all right, well, maybe this is something that I need to address within myself and my habits because it's going to end up hurting my financial future.